Hi there, I'm Lisa Arana, and I'm so thrilled that you're joining me for today's Assemble This video. And it's all about creating two beautiful birthday cards. We'll be die cutting, playing with background stamps, and adding little touches to make these cards extra special. I'm featuring the Happiest Wishes August 2021 sentiment kit from Unity Stamp Company. I just love the big scripty sentiments in this kit. They can be the feature of the card or pair them with one of your other favorite Unity stamp images. I've already pre-stamped and colored my images with Copic markers. I'm really feeling the yellow and green tones for this set of cards. For the first card, I've stamped this Birthday Girl from Margaret Girl by Angie Blom. And then I just die cut that down with a cute little die. And then I'm going to work on my background using some Versamark ink. I have this pretty starburst, star-filled background, and I'm just going to ink that up with some Versamark onto some cool gray cardstock. This is probably discontinued. It was a Basil brand, but you can find another tone that's fairly similar to it. And we're just going to stamp that really well using our Misty stamping tool. And then I'm going to cover that with some clear embossing powder. You could just leave this alone and just use the Versamark watermark image, but I really like the texture that the embossing powder is really going to add. Just a bit of texture and shine to that background. I'm just going to heat that with my heat tool. Make sure your heat tool is really hot before you start, and then I hold it fairly close to my paper and move it quickly so it melts that embossing powder fast. And then I die cut that down with a matching die cut, and I'm just going to glue that straight down to the center of my card front. And this is a friendly reminder, make sure you check which side your card is opening because I built this card backwards. So when I showed it to my husband and he goes, "Oh look, you made it for a left-handed person." So I'll probably cut that front off and rebuild it on another card front. Just going to add some foam adhesive to the back of that panel and then glue that down straight into the center of my card. And then just for another little bit of interest, using some clear Nouveau drops, 3 drops to the top right of her dress and then 2 to the bottom left. And then for a little bit more shine, I'm using my Wink of Stella clear pen. I just love the bit of sparkle that this creates. And now for a second card, I pulled out my favorite Wonky Stripes background, and again I'm inking that up with some Versamark embossing ink. And then using my Misty tool again, just to make sure I get a nice good impression. And there we go. And then this time I grabbed some white embossing powder. Just going to pour that on and then tap off the excess. And then again, get my heat tool really hot and then melt that embossing powder. I wanted to add a little bit more interest to the background. So I grabbed that Versamark ink again, and I'm just blending over some of the lines in the background. Not all of them, just a few here and there. And that will create a little bit more dimension and a change in color. It just kind of deepens that gray in certain areas. So I'll have a white and then a medium gray and then a darker gray. So here you can see the different gradients in color. I have that nice dark gray and then right below it a medium gray. And then I just glued that to the front of my card. Now for my floral panel, I'm just gonna corner chomp and round those edges. And then that panel was kind of getting lost next to all that white in the background. So I grabbed some Hickory Smoke Distress ink and I'm just going to blend that around the edges to create a bit of a vignette look. Just doing this really quickly. I try to start off the edge of my paper and then move towards the center in kind of a circular and light motion. I was a bit heavy-handed with this, but in the end it worked out just fine. Blending's pretty forgiving, as long as you start out light and then build up the color. There we go, and around all four sides. Added a bit of foam adhesive to the back of that as well, and then just pop that up to the front of my card, lining up the right side of those edges. Just like that. And then to pull a bit more of that white into that front panel, I'm using some white Nouveau drops. And I did that in a pattern of 3 and just kind of filled in some dots throughout that vine pattern that I have. And then to add again a little bit more sparkle and shine, I grabbed my Wink of Stella in clear one more time and just went over the flowers. And here are our finished cards. I just love Margaret Girl and her lovely balloons. She looks really great next to that big birthday sentiment. And then the subtle star background just adds the perfect bit of interest to the card. The second card turned out so lovely. I just love the way the flowers frame that birthday sentiment so well. And I love the fun wonky stripes in the background. The scattering of the white Nouveau drops just helps to pull the white into the front of the card, as well as to finish everything off. I'll have all the supplies linked in the description of this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you liked it. Plus, if you have any questions or sweet comment, post below. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye!